"Dad, you need to see this," Dylan said, her voice trembling just enough to pull Eric Forrester from the familiar focus of his sketchbook. The late afternoon sunlight poured through the tall windows of the Forrester living room, casting a golden glow over the room as if the house itself sensed a life-changing revelation was about to unfold. Before a single word was spoken, Eric felt it, the tightness in his chest signaling that a truth was about to collide with legacy. In the Forrester family, secrets didn't just surface quietly, they exploded. And standing there, phone clenched in her hand, Dylan carried one that had been buried for far too long. Eric tried to maintain his calm, patriarchal composure, the same man who had weathered betrayals, scandals, lost loves, and broken sons. But Dylan's eyes, those unmistakable Forrester eyes mirroring his own, held a fear he hadn't seen since Stephanie's death. The room seemed to shrink around them, heavy with anticipation. Dylan stepped forward, swallowed hard, and thought of all the years she had carried the secret alone, shaping her identity in silence. She knew that once spoken, nothing would be the same. Eric would never see her the same way, and the family whose name she bore both as shield and burden might never forgive her. "I should have told you sooner," she began, her voice cracking despite her effort to stay strong. "Every time I tried, I thought about everything you built, everything you believe in, and I couldn't be the one to tear it apart." Eric set aside his sketchbook, sensing that this wasn't a mistake or misunderstanding. It was something fundamental, stretching back decades into the roots of the Forrester legacy. Gently but firmly, he told her to sit, the same way he had always guided his children through life-altering confessions. But Dylan shook her head. This secret demanded courage, demanded eye contact. She unlocked her phone, hands shaking, and turned the screen toward him. Before Eric could fully focus, she spoke the words she had rehearsed 1,000 times, but never imagined saying aloud. "I'm not who you think I am, and neither is our family history." Eric's breath caught. On her phone were documents, lab reports, letters, and dates, evidence that rewrote the story he had believed for decades. Dylan explained haltingly at first, then with urgency, that years ago she had discovered the truth about her mother, the circumstances of her conception, and a secret arrangement made out of fear and desperation that altered her lineage. She described old letters hidden in a false drawer, written in Stephanie's unmistakable hand, revealing a child born under circumstances that could have destroyed Eric if exposed. Those letters had haunted Dylan her entire life, shaping relationships and filling her with a constant sense of living a lie crafted out of love, but preserved by silence. Eric's face paled as she revealed the DNA results that confirmed what the letters implied. The man she had called father was not her biological parent. The truth pointed instead to a part of Eric's past blurred by grief, loneliness, and a decision Stephanie had made to protect him forever. "I didn't want to hurt you," Dylan said, tears streaming freely now. "But every time I hear you talk about honesty, about family, I feel like a fraud." Eric staggered back, gripping his chair, as decades of memories rearranged themselves with new meaning. He asked who knew, his voice barely above a whisper. Only Dylan and one other person, she confessed, someone who urged her to come forward before the truth erupted on its own. Eric felt the weight of inevitability settle in. Secrets in this family never stayed buried. He thought of Ridge, Brooke, Steffi, and all the battles fought over legacy. He wondered how this revelation would ripple through the family, how many relationships might fracture under the strain of a truth that could no longer be contained. Dylan reached for his hand. "I needed you to know before the world does." Eric looked at her and, despite the shock, recognized the same heart and strength that no DNA test could erase. Secrets could rewrite history, but they couldn't erase love unless he let them. He nodded slowly, knowing this was only the beginning, a storm that would test every bond he held dear. Pulling her into his arms, he understood something profoundly clear. The biggest secret wasn't just Dylan's parentage, it was how far a family would go to protect itself and what might be lost when the truth finally came to light. When he finally asked to see everything, Dylan scrolled on her phone. Hospital records, DNA tests, letters signed by Stephanie. Each piece of evidence hit hard, forcing Eric to confront a past he had long buried. Decisions made in grief, loneliness, and love. Stephanie's protective yet ruthless choice to shield her family now revealed itself in a new light. Eric felt anger, grief, and awe all at once. Dylan braced herself for rejection, but found instead Eric's hands on her shoulders. Whatever mistakes were made, he said firmly, were made by adults long gone, not by you. Blood matters less to me than commitment. Family is about who stands by you. The words anchored her, though they didn't erase the fear of what was to come. Eric knew the truth had consequences: legal questions, inheritance concerns, rivals ready to exploit the chaos. But he promised Dylan she would face it with him, not alone. As evening settled, the house felt charged with the weight of the revelation. Eric prepared to tell Ridge, Steffi, and Brooke, aware that the moment of reckoning was unavoidable. When the family gathered, Dylan recounted everything: letters, DNA results, the secret kept to protect Eric. Shock, anger, sorrow, and fear rippled through the room. Ridge reacted with betrayal, Stuffy struggled with loyalty and doubt, and Brooke's compassion anchored the tension. Eric reminded them all, Dylan was still family. Her biology didn't define her. Commitment and love did. The room softened, but the implications were staggering. The Forrester name and empire were about to be tested in ways no one could predict. When the news inevitably went public, it hit like an earthquake. Headlines screamed of hidden paternity, secret adoptions, and family intrigue. Dylan faced the media with dignity, emphasizing love, respect, and complexity. Eric stood by her, proud and sorrowful. Knowing that the past couldn't be undone, the family could face the future together, stronger, more honest, and grounded in the love that endured every secret, every betrayal, and every storm.